Wait till this song's playing so I could hear if it's going out okay. Every once in a while, when I start the software, it garbles up for some reason. I have to restart it, and then it plays okay, but just listening for it to come in here. Yeah.
Oh, I don't get the ding anymore.
Wow. I wonder why.
I don't know. I don't know, but I don't get the ding anymore. What do I do with my phone? My phone was just around here. Why didn't it look?
About 1 minute.
1 minute until showtime.
Yep, 6 seconds off.
Yeah.
Always.
There we go. We're on.
My phone is always 6 seconds off.
Yep. All right.
Oh, there it is. All right.
Those of you just joining us, we have a guest tonight, Kap Kaplowitz, will be joining us. He's a cigar aficionado, a world-renowned author, and I don't know what.
World-renowned.
World-renowned. Yep. We'll talk to him in a bit, but in case you're not seeing this online here. Of course, our video is probably 20 minutes behind by now. Don't know. It's just a guess.
Just a guess.
Yeah.
Possibly 20 minutes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right. What are we at? Oh, here we go.
Your show will go live in 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2,
Yep.
1.
Boop. Blog Talk Radio.
Blog Talk Radio.
This is All About Wine, the talk show dedicated to the wine industry since 2009. Featuring winemaker, cellar master, vineyardist, and tasting expert, Ron.
Basically, what we're trying to do on this program is just trying to educate people and trying to make wine less confusing and more friendly.
From coast to coast and around the world.
You know, we really have had some neat people on the program. I love that.
Post your questions and comments during the live show on our Facebook page at www.facebook.com/allaboutwinebtr. Again, that's www.facebook.com/allaboutwinebtr. And now, All About Wine is on. Here's Ron.
That's right.
And yet another week of All About Wine.
Mm-hmm. That's it. I'm still watching the intro on the other screen.
It's still playing on there?
It's still playing.
Oh, gee.
Messed up.
Oh, well.
Yeah.
I've been doing taxes. I think I might have mentioned this in the previous episode. I've been doing been doing taxes for United Way. It's a volunteer program type thing, and it's fun. I do it a couple of days a week and all that. Next Monday is our last day. Next Tuesday is tax day. So all of you people who listen to this before next Tuesday, the 18th,
Mm-hmm.
you got until Tuesday the 18th to get your taxes in. If you listen to it after the 18th, you're late if you haven't done it already.
Mm.
I've been doing taxes now. We started 1st of February. I've been doing a couple of days a week ever since 1st of February. And it's fun. But today I had a lady who got a buyout of it was IRA. She had to pull it out because she's at the age, and they didn't take enough tax out of it when they did, and so she ended up owing $1,000, and she was so upset.
Wow.
I mean, you know, she was almost at tears. She was so upset that she owed $1,000. I felt so bad for her. But she had calmed down by the time she talked to her. We were telling her, you always do this and do that and do this. You won't be hit with that again. But she said, well, that was my vacation money. And I said, well, I'm sorry, but
Not
the
this
government
year.
wants their money. So.
That's right. That's right. Not this year. Maybe next year. Try again.
Maybe next year.
Yeah. Well.
Yeah, it was sad, to say the least. Oh, it looks like we have our guest in the background here in the green room. So, without further ado, why don't we just go ahead and bring him on the show? Welcome to All About Wine again, Kap.
Thank you. That's the introduction I get.
Oh,
What do you get?
I want to be able to sit down in my chair.
Wait a minute. Mike
oh, there you go. Yeah, I didn't. Do I have a?
Okay.
That was a clip. That was a clip from the last thing. No, I don't have it.
No.
Do we have a?
No.
No, that ain't it. Where's the?
Weren't expecting
I
you
don't
too
know.
much
I mean, I could go to my other
Maybe.
soundboard.
Well, I
My other
didn't mean
soundboard.
to put you on a point, but
It was kind of like last minute, last second thing. Let's see. And now, ladies and gentlemen,
well.
please welcome the one. I was doing something live here. The cigar aficionado and world-renowned author. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Kap Kaplowitz. Yay! Hold on. Yay! Here we go. There's our.
that's okay.
Okay.
So,
Oh, look at that! Wow. There's even more.
it's a raucous audience there.
Yeah.
They are.
Loud
Yeah.
in my ear.
Well,
Yeah.
I-
Oh, did they?
You have been a steady listener, I know, and you've probably heard the intro a few times. And we had a guy that was a whistler, and it was just irritating. So Mike had to pull him to the side and talk
Yeah.
to him a little bit about
Talk
his
to him.
whistling. So
Slapped him a couple times.
he
Don't like it.
slapped him around.
Yeah.
So he was just whistling like a tune, like
No,
just
at the end of it. It was like a.
Well, here's All About Wine, and
Yeah.
real loud and all that stuff.
Yeah. Just ridiculous. It was the bar crowd.
Well,
Yeah, they went nuts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you
give
for
it
having me
back.
on, and on short notice too. I appreciate that,
Yeah.
Ron.
Yeah,
Mike,
yeah.
Yes.
short notice
Absolutely.
for having me on, but
You're worth it, though.
And I don't want anybody at home thinking it was on you. It was on me. You guys were gracious enough to fit my schedule, and thank you for that.
Well,
you guys are a very professional unit. I didn't want to put anybody out there.
We
like
are.
that. Let me ask you guys a question. Let me ask you. Mention me as an author.
world renowned.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I do try. But what do you think of that word, author?
Author?
Do you have any thoughts? Yeah, do you have any thoughts on that, either of you? Because I want to say I don't love it, but I'm curious to see what you guys have to say, if anything.
I never really thought about the word author. Whenever I think of author, I think of one who composes books, and basically books. I don't think of a person who writes poetry so much an author as a poet.
Correct.
So author
Right.
to me is someone who just writes books.
Yeah.
Short, long,
such as
mediocre, whatever.
Such as novels,
Sure.
Anything.
like
Anything.
because that would be a novelist. In other words,
Right.
I don't feel like author really has a spot that needs filled. You have essayists, you have poets, you have, I guess you have short story writers, but I like the word writer because it's an occupation. To me, it rings in my ears like an occupation. Author just sounds a little full of, it sounds like a way a person a little full of themselves would present themselves.
Well, you see, writer though, and that would include everything. Newspaper. What do you do? Oh, I'm a writer for the Tampa Bay Times, or I'm a writer for the Seattle Times. I mean, you don't think I don't think anything like published book or anything when I think of writer, except
okay, so here's something where it could fit. And well, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to hit you with this,
No.
but when I hear author, I do think creative writing.
Correct.
I don't
That
know
too.
if I'm alone there or not.
That
like,
follows-
like fiction, almost like a literary fiction, not like a genre fiction. Like you don't author like Mickey Spillane did an author the Hammer novels. He wrote them, but like Hemingway authored For Whom the Bell Tolls. Does that make sense? So maybe it's like a higher literary language involved with that. Anyway, how the hell are you guys
where do you draw the line, though? Where do you draw the line on author and a writer? I mean, because it's 200 pages, it all of a sudden past the 200-page mark and it becomes an author.
Could be a novelist.
He is just a writer.
Is there such thing as a
noveler? Yes, a noveler.
Novelist?
Which is a lot like a shoe cobbler.
Yeah, sure.
Novelist, yes.
Okay.
But
oh, gosh.
I don't think it's a length thing. I think it's if you use some type of a form of heightened language, perhaps then you're an author. And if you're just writing to get a point across or to tell a story, you're a writer.
But I have read your latest book. You know, it's a good transition here. The Tales of Henry Swallow, and you tend to use a heightened language in that, a style that is more that of an author as opposed to a writer.
Heightened language. I think I use it in a silly way, though. But does that make me a silly author or a serious writer?
Again, whenever I think of writer, I'm always thinking of newspaper.
You're thinking newspaper, but that's a journalist.
Well, there you go.
Yeah, I don't know. Anyway.
You brought up a very interesting point here.
We should probably.
We'll leave it at this. I'm sorry. I feel like Mike is about to prod us along out of these miserable little segments that I introduced, unfortunately.
Because he has some wise words concerning the stuff we talked about. So yes, Mike.
Okay. Well, you know what? Go ahead, Mike, because I totally forgot what I was going to say.
Well,
I need to light my pipe.
You threw this out here, and I wasn't expecting it. I think we should start the show over again. I'm confused now because maybe I got it wrong. Hold on a second. There we go. Okay, but yes.
Hey guys, thanks for having me on.
And it's great to have you.
Here is writer.
Good to be had.
Here's writer. Now, is it okay to add cigar aficionado to your list as well? To your accomplishment.
Don't get me started on that. Mike.
Hang on, I'll take that off of there. I just put it on the scrolling text.
Yeah, just if we could.
Cigar.
I don't know what your post production is looking like, but I enjoy a cigar at a clip of about one a day. I enjoy a good cigar.
Okay.
And I know
they're not all
too
good,
much
so
about
we just
cigars.
qualify that too, because I know better than that. So.
I know my way around this cigar, and I know my way around cobbling together little stories and cigar reviews and all that. But Ron and Mike, by the way, I offered to send you a copy of my latest book, Tales of Henry Swallow, issue number 1.
Wow!
You never got back to me.
Hold on.
Yeah, don't worry about it.
No,
it's okay.
Now I'm concerned.
Well, I got Mike's address. I'll send it out to you so you can get one joint.
Save your login information. Not now. Let me log in here.
It's fine. Anyway,
I think did I read that?
I'm fascinated with your view of my language as being heightened. Because honestly, was it?
Heightened might not be a good word. Unique in your approach to how you. Well, you read books and you read novels and you read all the other different venues that we can think of. And most of the time when there's a conversation, the conversation is actually set aside from the text and you follow the conversation like in your quotes in your conversation language. You, on the other hand, approach it more casually. Like we'll be talking and the scene will be going on, and then all of a sudden something's said, but it's right there in the text. of something being said.
Well, I did opt for italicization, italics. I don't have quote marks, but I do have italics for the conversation, for the dialogue. And I did that because I wanted it to flow more. I wanted everything to be kind of goopy and gelatinous and like a river of gelatinous goop. I don't know, guys. I thought it was something different, so I gave it a shot.
It was different, but you know, it reminds me, and it reminds me of the Bible. Whenever they quote something that Jesus said, no matter where it is, it's always italics and set different than the actual text.
Well, that's another idea for my next book. I could write all the dialogue of a certain character in red letters. That's a Jesus thing they did.
That is definitely
really that would be quite offensive to a lot of people. Actually, now that I think about that, I won't be doing that. I'd probably drive up the costs too, because I self-publish and then I have to introduce another color, and the copy store doesn't like that. Anyway.
Yeah.
Since you asked me, I'll go ahead real briefly and do it. People are probably wondering what you had most likely said earlier on about Tales of Henry Swallow and what exactly that is. So let me take a moment to address that question that you didn't ask earlier for the listeners at home. And Tales of Henry Swallow, it's a original Kaplowitz Media work of fiction. It's a series of short stories about a couple of characters, a father and a son, the relationship between them and their relationship with the people around them. And more importantly, they are apparently time traveling and gentlemen thieves. So it's really weird, I'd say. But I don't, does it read as weird as all that sounds? Because when I was saying that, Ron, I really should write stuff down and read it, because I just kind of let my mouth go. And I'm sorry. Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, definitely the two characters. That is so obvious. The time traveling is not so obvious.
Not yet, because there's only two. There's only two stories in each issue, and this is issue number one. But the first one, Piss Off, as an introduction, that's kind of Victorian timesy. And then if you notice the second of the two, the Fighting Brunos, that's like in the 1940s, 50s. But I guess you could live the 40s, 30s. Yeah, somewhere around there, like Honeymooners, like somewhere around there. But I guess you could live long enough to span that time, come to think of it.
Yeah.
Like, couldn't the same person be around? Yeah. Like 1901. That's 1901 is the end of the Victorian era, and then you got I don't know. Nah, they were definitely time traveling. Trust me, I know a guy.
Okay.
They were definitely time travelers. Wait for issue number 2.
But the characters that you introduced, it seemed like there was, maybe not. Our policeman friend, was he in the second?
No, he was not.
He was not.
Tompkins. No.
Right. No, he wasn't. Okay. I was thinking maybe
he
was.
Might come back in number 2. But really? I don't know. I just don't know yet, Ron. I'm a wild card.
Are you going to jump around in your time traveling? I mean, are you going to?
Yeah. Well, is it going to
be progressive, or is it going to be? Okay,
no. Don't hold me to this, because I'm still authoring the second issue of Tales of Henry Swallow, but I'm thinking one is going to be kind of like Robin Hood, like way back then, like to jolt everybody into like, oh wait, yeah, something did happen. And then I'm thinking it would be cool to do something in the 70s, in the 1970s. you know. So, but again, don't quote me. But do quote me that they are in fact, I guess, time traveling. I don't know, Ron. It's a different
Henry's
time.
father going to be going with him in the time traveling sequences, or?
Yes. It's always going to be the father and the son.
Okay.
And,
well, that's interesting.
I would say so. Mike, how does all this sound? Does this sound tempting to you at all? I can't really scan myself. Like, I can't tell if this is turning people on or turning people off.
Tales
of Henry Swallow.
I'm not sure what the tales are covering. So it's kind of like, is it obviously tales what they're experiencing when they time travel? It's
time traveling. That's a big elephant in the room that we could ignore.
Oh my gosh, I was wondering what that was.
The time traveling.
Okay.
Forget about it.
All right.
They're just getting by this father and son duo, and they're doing what they can, and they're sometimes solving mysteries, sometimes helping themselves to a little bit of loot. It's fun. Don't worry about the time traveling.
Okay.
Who even brought that up?
Okay. You guys did.
Well,
don't you? Oh. Okay, so I have
each episode is
got a question.
It's self-contained within a certain time period. So
I have a
exactly. Each episode will visit a different time period.
Okay, so they're not.
I could guarantee you one thing: I'm not going to. It's not going to become science fiction. I'm not going to tell you what's happening.
Okay.
At any point.
Okay.
Except maybe the final story.
Okay.
But anyway, go ahead, Mike.
Yeah, I just had a question for our esteemed writer / author, aficionado, media mogul, blogger. What was the inspiration to writing this? What was your, gosh, I need to start writing about this. What drove you to it? Just curious, because I haven't read it.
$10 a copy. $10 a copy. So if you would like to order Tales of Henry Swallow, you could hit me up personally. It's only for sale directly from me. You can get hold of me at Kaplowitz Media. That's KAPLOWITZ Media, like MEDIA. Kaplowitz Media, all one word, at yahoo.com. Hit me up with your order. That's the only way you could get it. And $10 cash. So to answer your question, $10 cash. Several, hopefully, times over.
Electronic $10 cash electronically. Okay.
No, cash only.
Cash only.
Okay.
Oh boy.
If I may answer the question, though, Mike.
Okay.
For Kap, Kap is a big fan of Sherlock Holmes.
Okay. Yeah, I heard about. Yeah, I read about that.
I think I'm seeing that influence in the stories.
Interesting.
You're on to me. You're on to me, Ron. Just a little bit. You're on to me.
Wow. Just a little bit, yeah. But I am seeing that influence.
Okay.
Yep.
Very good.
Yeah, and I mean, they're short stories. They're quasi-detectives. So, yeah, you're going to see. And I mean, I did opt to use the Victorian era for the first introduction story. So, yeah, I would say, I mean, sure. But just to say that there is some Sherlock Holmes influence, I don't think anything in there happens very Sherlock Holmes-like. I just like the atmosphere.
Yeah, but that's the influence I'm speaking of. It's the Victorian era, the solving of the mystery, the Sherlock Holmes figuring it out, and Henry has that same wit and the wit and the intelligence to follow the clues to solve whatever it is he's searching for, and that's the same as Sherlock Holmes.
Very interesting. Or does Henry's father carry the brains of the operation, even though he's somewhat ill?
I didn't pick up his father as being the brains. I just was always Henry. Henry.
It's funny because I have so much of it written in my head. I'm carrying around like episode number 7 already in my head. I know these characters more than you could possibly know because you've only read the first 2 stories because that's all that's been available yet. But I know what's going on a little bit, so I'm kind of giving little spoilers along the way. But anyway, but good question. What makes me write, Mike? Is I guess what you're asking. What makes me
this particular topic? You know, you write about cigars because that's something you enjoy, and obviously, and you're an aficionado of cigars, and so when this particular topic comes up, are you know? And I was thinking, how would you, if you had to announce the title of the book, Tales of Henry Swallow, would you say, "Oh, here's Tales of Henry Swallow," or would you say, "And now the Tales of Henry Swallow"? How do you?
I don't know. Could I borrow you for that though? Could you follow me around and use that voice?
He's good at that.
Absolutely. It's $10.
Yeah, I like that.
If it's $10 per time. You can email me at Yahoo.
Okay, well that's just not going to work because for every book I sell, I'm going to have to give you the $10 bill.
Mike,
we'll
charge
maybe
you
like
about
$30.
Exactly.
Yeah, maybe.
Okay. I mean, what your mindset?
I'm not one of the. Okay.
I was thinking
Mindset,
your mindset for writing, for starting this project, and you said you're already up into like, part 7 and possibly beyond it. What is motivating you or driving you to start it and take it out that far? I mean, besides the $10, I don't know.
It's so just hard to see beyond the sawbuck.
Okay.
Yeah. That's a really good question, and a lot of people in my position would have a far more interesting and self-examined response.
Yeah.
But I just kind of get a kick out of doing it.
Okay.
It's just something I do. One of the reasons why I like the word writer better than author is because, like I alluded to earlier, like I said, writer is an occupation, and that's how I choose to occupy myself. That's what I do. Okay. I write.
Yeah.
And I write about everything. I write about whatever interests me. I probably write too much. I should probably read much more. I write and I write and I write. And what got me, if I could travel back in time, well, Mike?
Yes.
Mike?
Yeah.
Can you give me a voiceover about me traveling back in time while I assemble my thoughts?
While you assemble your thoughts, a voiceover for Kap. That's interesting. I'd have to come up with something. The other one was easy because it was in front of me. Let me see.
Right.
Before,
back,
and then
back. Let me see.
Are you? Okay.
No. I'm kind of at a loss. I wanted to tell a story. It's an excellent form of entertainment.
Yeah.
It's unplugged entertainment.
Yeah.
That's why I do books and not. This is why I'm not here saying something like subscribe to my Substack or Patreon for $5 a month.
Okay.
I'm here to tell you to send me $10 and then unplug yourself and read my little booklet, my little chapbook.
Yeah.
Step away from the screen, unplug yourself, be a person.
Yeah.
Get yourself the tangible book, a little, and these aren't like, I'm not Hemingway, obviously. These are little stories.
Yeah.
It's light entertainment. Maybe you think a little bit, but don't think too much because you're giving it more credit than it deserves if you do that. But just to unplug. I guess if I could have one wish in life, it would be to live without current media without Facebook,
Wow.
without Twitter, without that stuff, and go back to when books were the form of entertainment for the masses. Because I think people were better back then.
Yeah.
I think at least people were smarter back then. And I mean, books like Dickens, Charles Dickens.
Yeah.
We think of it as some highfalutin, highbrow writing. That was for the masses back then. All of those books were released in installments within magazines, and people would wait on the docks for the new magazines to come in and get unloaded so they could plop down their hay penny, I don't know, and come home with the next chapter of, the Curiosity Shop to read until the next one dropped. I think that's delightful. And maybe in my bullshitty little way, I wanted to reenact that.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Well,
I don't know.
You said you're a writer, Cap, but how much have you written? 2 books? Henry's Follow and How to Smoke a Cigar?
Well, I blog too.
Yeah, he blogs
Come on.
several times.
And I'm honestly sitting on quite a bit. I'm honestly installments and stories. Go to kaplowitz.xyz. And I think it's the featured post now. There's I'm telling a story in installments. Tell me about Miss Cheryl or whatever. I forget what I named it. I'm a lousy spokesperson for myself. But I mean, and I've written for years. I've contributed here. I've contributed there. But I write a lot. Are you questioning me? As far as if I write or not?
What an interviewer does.
No, I like it because that's good. That lit a fire under my butt, Ron. I'm gonna write even more than before.
Well, good.
I'll show you. I'll show you, Ron.
Oh God.
I would look forward to it.
How much have you written now? Oh, but you don't call yourself a writer.
I don't call myself a writer or an author or anything. If anything, I would say a drinker, because I like my wine.
Well, I can tell you this: I'll never write as much as you drink.
That's probably not, because I can drink while I'm reading one of your novels, and it takes you, so. That's a lot of writing in terms of your drinking. But but I promise to write more. I promise to write more. And this is kind of a new thing with me, like self-publishing this stuff and getting it out there that way. Also, I'm busy. I'm raising a child, Ron. Well, that goes into stuff too. And I know I'm not defending myself. I appreciate your line of questioning, but I mean, just now, for instance, I could be watching my son at his track meet, but I'm here talking to you about my writing. So I'm talking about writing. Wow. That's something. But also with my kid, let me run something by you guys. Are both of you guys dads? Yeah.
Dead?
Okay.
No.
Yeah.
Me too. So my kid, he wants. Sorry, there's a fire. I don't know if you can hear the sirens. I'm sure.
Just heard it.
Okay.
Yeah. Do you need to get out?
So.
Oh.
My kid. No, it's nice. It's warm. Okay. So. Anyway, so my kid wants a fish, a beta fish. Those little fancy fighting fishes. They're like colorful. They're I think. Don't quote me. I'm not a fishologist, but I think they're like from Vietnam or something.
Are you
like live in like the paddies there?
You're not
like they live in like very small, dirty bodies of water. So anyway, so he wants one, and I'm thinking with my mind. Like 10 years in the past, when you remember people used to get those little fish and put them in little tiny bowls, like cup-sized bowls, and they would just live in that.
Right.
Apparently that's frowned upon now.
It is. Yes.
The whole goldfish bowl is like banned in some places, and you can't.
Oh, really?
Like,
I hadn't heard that.
Yeah, I think. Don't quote me again. Not a fishologist, but like the famous goldfish bowl is like frowned upon, let alone the little glass. And you got to get, they're saying like for one little beta, guys, for one little beta fish, they're like, I don't know, what, 2 inches long?
Yeah, they're
Maybe?
yeah, very small.
You got all the fins and everything. Yeah.
Well, you got the fins and all that stuff. I don't know, and whatever.
It's a small
anyway,
fish. Yeah.
They're saying you need like a 5-gallon tank. Some people are saying 10-gallon tank for one little like 2-inch fish.
One bait, and you can't put them together because
right.
they'll fight.
Yeah, they'll kill each other.
I mean, you can, but
well, it'd be a show.
You probably shouldn't have beta fish fights and gamble on them and whatnot. That would be a bad thing to do. Like charge people admission to watch 2 beta fish tear each other apart while they gamble on it. That wouldn't be a thing to do.
Wow.
You create a whole new venue for your income there.
You do.
Well, you got to hustle. But like 5-10 gallons of water
For one little thing.
For one little fish, I don't know. I can't see
for
that.
one little fish.
No.
That seems odd.
Sounds like a lot. And it confused me a little bit, guys, because follow me here. Why are they pushing tiny homes on humans?
I like the segue. I really, really do.
I didn't get that.
Good point. Excellent point.
He sounds.
You want me to live? You want me to live in a tool shed with a 10-gallon tank with a tiny fish in it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You sound. You
and
do.
The fish doesn't do anything.
You do sound like.
It stays in one spot all the time.
You do sound like an aficionado now. An aficionado. Get it? Aficionado? No. Okay. It took.
I like that, Mike. I don't really. Ron, what did you do there? I didn't.
I just put.
I
was talking.
That's
Yeah, it's aficionado.
I'm not good with words.
No, obviously.
Oh, okay. A fish.
So you're, but you're a writer.
Gotcha.
Aficionado. Okay. Yeah. So, well, that's a good story. Let's see. You should probably add that to next time you're looking up there. But I do have your website up.
Actually, I actually typed that up as.
Oh, good.
I was saying, so that'll be, something I'll
Another
do
one.
later for
Okay.
$10.
Okay.
I expect to see that in the Tales of Henry Swallow issue 8 or something like that.
Yeah.
Issue 8, like a oddly large fish tank with one fish in it. And again, these fish in the wild, they stay in little shallow, dirty water puddles. Again,
I never knew that. You know more about fish than I do. I never knew that the beta fish stayed in little small.
Again,
in fact, I never thought too much where they came
remember. Well, that's my problem. I wonder about everything. But I think I'm correct there. Maybe one of your listeners could correct me. And again, but and don't. I'm not saying go buy a beta and throw it in a puddle. But I don't know. I don't know. They're very pretty fish.
Oh yeah,
they're very pretty.
I've only seen them in small cups. I've only seen them like in small glass mugs and stuff. I've never seen them in a large tank. It doesn't make any sense by themselves. And you have,
I don't think so.
Because like when you go to PetSmart or Petco or whatever the heck, they're in like a little clear Dixie cup.
Yeah.
And then I'm gonna bring it home and like what if they're like personifying these fish too much? And, they think like, well, I would like a big fish tank if I was a fish. I mean, it doesn't really scan because I'm living in a shed, but I like to occupy a big place. And they're like making these fish live out their dreams. But really, this fish is horrified. Yeah. He spent his entire life very comfortable in his tiny little studio apartment. And now he has like a mansion, and it's horrifying.
And they grow. Now, beta fish, I know for a fact, are part of the goldfish family, and goldfish continue to grow in the bigger their environment. Yeah. And so, therefore, you put them in a 10-gallon tank, and you could have yourself a monster beta fish.
Are goldfish really beta fish? Are you sure about that, Ron? Are you a fishologist?
I've heard that beta fish are goldfish, are part of the goldfish family.
So they're carp? Isn't a goldfish a carp?
I think it is.
Mike, help us out there. Is a carp, and so is a koi. A koi is a carp, and
Mhm.
Koi
Koi
is
is
just
a
a
carp.
big goldfish, right?
Yeah.
Koi is a
Yeah.
carp, and I could see where a koi might be a little reminiscent of a beta, but I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Anyway,
I don't know.
Second letter Greek alphabet.
that's something.
Mike-
It's all food
Mike
for
is
thought.
always good at
Sentence.
research. He's probably typing it in right now.
They're
even
actually-
as we speak.
They are known as Siamese fighting fish. What? You know, I was trying to find that. Dun, dun, where's that noise? That
Yeah,
music coming?
it's good beta.
Yeah, it's
What is the lineage? Does it say?
outside Southeast Asia. The beta specific. Anyway, continue. I'm reading this.
Southeast Asia.
stupidly
Yeah,
long.
Southeast Asia.
Yeah, that's where they.
And before I forget, you are listening to Fish Talk with myself, Kaplowitz Media, and
on All About Wine.
Mike.
On All About Wine. Tennis physicians.
On All About Wine.
Botanists.
That's
first
special
opinion.
segment.
Bettas are known for their highly territorial. Males are prone to attacking each other.
Territorial. Like what are they territorial against? I can't go in their little tank with them.
No, you can't.
Like,
They
No, they
They'll
are
mess me up.
highly
will mess you up. Yeah.
highly territorial with males prone to attacking each other if housed in the same tank without a means of escape. So you got to put a ladder in there. Put a ladder in there. Maybe a little.
Just the ladders, like,
Use the ladder. Stop fighting. Use the ladder. Get away from them.
So it's just a male. So you could have a couple of females in there together.
Wow.
And the females
Yeah, but I
won't
think
fight, so they're not.
They are exceptionally.
Well, Ron,
We're gonna learn
Ron,
soon.
if
Ron.
you put two females in a tank together, you really don't have to worry about babies.
No,
Somebody
but
should have
it's-
had this talk with
Yeah.
you a long time
If you
ago.
put the
and I
male in there with them. You were talking about males.
Oh, yeah.
And adding two females, so I'm thinking, the three of them in the
Oh,
tank.
I see. Yeah.
Have a little baby.
That'd be
Now,
cool.
it does
That would be like
say-
a Three's Company spin-off.
It says female betas can also become territorial towards one another in confined spaces. They are exceptionally tolerant
Wow.
tolerant of low oxygen levels and poor water quality. Wow, I didn't realize that.
Right. So why do you need 5 to 10 gallons in a bubbler and
The filter,
I
you got to
don't
filter it and
know.
everything. I don't know. They put them in a swamp and
I
call it a
don't
day.
know. I'll tell you about. I'll tell you something though. These fish seem like assholes.
Yeah.
Don't they? Like they're
Yeah.
not saying it. They're not really saying it, but they're saying it. They're
Right.
they're not nice fish.
Yeah.
No, they're mean fish. You know.
Yeah.
They think
Goldfish
because
are
they have
nice,
those
right? Goldfish seem
Pretty
nice.
fins
Goldfish,
and everything.
Yeah. I mean, they honestly they don't look like fighters, do they? Like they're
No, they don't.
slight little fish and they're very frilly.
They're really short with the big old fancy fins. They don't, I can't see.
Yeah.
Maybe those fins, hold a good punch or something. We just
I don't know. I
Or
wonder
just
what
don't
made
put them
them
in the
so
same tank.
mad. Maybe I'll just get my kid a goldfish.
Yeah.
Put
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
in something. I mean, if I'm going to get 5 gallons, put a couple of goldfish in there. I mean, goldfish seem dumber, but nice.
They don't eat each other. Yeah, they don't go after each other. So you're good
They
there.
don't. No.
Yeah, I might do that.
Not territorial
I
or
see.
any of that.
Yeah. I don't know. Anyway.
Yeah.
Anyway. And either before we move on, either of you guys own any fish?
No.
No.
I used to.
No?
I used to have fish. I used to have fish quite a bit in my life, but
Oh.
no. When they as they died away, I never
Yeah.
replaced them.
It's a lot of maintenance. It's a lot of maintenance to keep a tank clean, and
It is.
even if you have the stupid sucker fishes or whatever they call them, that the bottom feeders, it's still there's a lot of work to
Right.
it. It's not something that you set it and forget it. You can't just walk
Not
by and
liking
go.
the sound of that.
It's work.
It
It's a
is
lot of work.
maintenance.
Yeah.
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 I don't
I had a
know.
friend of mine in California who used to raise little small aquarium fish, and his garage was full of aquariums with all these
Wow,
fish in
wow.
it. And he would come home from his job and spend the next couple of hours cleaning tanks, and then he would rotate
Oh,
and clean so
gosh.
many each night.
Yeah.
And it's a constant
Wow. It's amazing how far some guys will go not to have to talk to girls. You know.
he was married. He didn't want to talk to his wife.
Well, same.
Yeah.
Mm.
But,
Yeah. This is fun.
So.
I thank you so much for having me on, guys. This is every time is better than the last. You know.
Yeah. Well, you're starting to become our most repeated guest. I think you're tied with our most repeated guest right now. So might have to have you on next week just to get you above that threshold there.
Was that another author that's in the top spot?
Yeah. Well,
Oh, sorry, a writer?
It is another author.
Now, is he an author or a writer? Jim
Blockren.
Jim Blockren.
He's an author.
I don't know. An author and of wine.
No, he's an author of. Well, he does. Jim Laughlin does different things. He has a novel, and he was working on his second novel, and that's when we're going to bring him on to talk about his second novel. In fact, I was just thinking that I need to get a hold of him and see if he's got his second novel finished yet. But he also wrote some online booklets about red wine and white wine, which was very interesting.
So maybe a fellow or a woman, a man or a woman, you know, you could be at times a writer, at times an author. So his novel, he's an author, I guess, or a novelist. I don't know. Anyway, he sounds like an interesting fellow.
Yeah, he is, and he's a lot of fun. We always have a good conversation and have a good time. Not unlike when you're on. So,
this is great. But also, well, you had me on for. I'm almost if only your audience, if somebody in your listenership only ever heard of me through you, they would think I'm a writer, because they would have had but they would think I'm a cigar guy too, because I was in that big Cigar Fest show with my buddy.
Right.
With our buddies. I'm sorry. Well, me and Ron's buddies. Mike, I don't know if you're in the group yet.
I'm in the back seat. I'm in the back seat looking out the window, and you guys are just talking away.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
That's, I don't know. I don't even know where I was going with that. But just a fun time. And I don't know. I think you guys talked me out of getting a fish. Maybe I'll just wait till my kid stops asking.
That might be the best thing, either that or...
I'll tell you what, that's what I did when he wanted a lizard. I just shut my mouth.
Yeah.
I just shut my mouth and let that play out, because
that's sometimes the best road to take when your kids start asking for all sorts of stuff like that.
If you get something like that, you don't want it to be just a fad, just something that they get just to, oh look, I got a fish, but they have to have that responsibility as well to take care of it, and that's something you have to answer. If this is a dedication, otherwise it's going to be a toilet thing that you flush when it's done. But you.
So, Mike, are you suggesting I buy my 12-year-old son a fish and leave it solely in his care? Because, I might as well bypass the ugly middle and just bring the fish home and throw it in a toilet.
Flush it.
Oh.
Like, at least that way he might get a fighting chance.
I'm out to sea.
As long as nobody else flushed the better and they fight,
Yeah. And I was on this.
They meet up in the sewer system somewhere.
I was on this long slide, and all of a sudden we met. We were on this slide of fresh water, and here we are now. Wow, what a great life!
Here we are now.
Thank you so much for taking me out of that little bowl that was in the pet store. I appreciate that.
Put me in the.
There's a story.
Yeah. There you go. The adventures of God. You could get like a clownfish.
That fish.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
No, that's
Bob the Beta.
That's a different one.
Betty the Beta.
Oh, I'm thinking of this. Yeah, that's something else. Yeah. My bad.
No, at least he doesn't want Nemo. Those clownfish they're like saltwater guys, right?
Oh yeah,
They're saltwater.
Yeah.
You got to keep them in saltwater. You got to keep the salt at a certain level. And
Oh, those are
and all
terrible.
that.
That's a lot of work.
My great uncle
That's
Leon, my great uncle Leon, his den in Brooklyn was full. It wasn't full. I mean, like everything in Brooklyn is smaller. You know, not tiny homes small, but we don't have the expanse out there that we do. You know, in the Pacific Northwest here. So in his tiny little den, he had a couple of saltwater fish tanks that he would really just fawn over and constantly check the like pH or saline level there. He didn't want to talk to his wife either. Is what I'm saying.
It's a good escape. You know. Oh, I got to tend to my fish.
Yeah, exactly.
Well,
and he was, you know, and he spent part of his life as a commercial fisherman, and that ties into something else. What am I in this respect, guys? I'm also about to begin a, not chapter by chapter, but a segment by segment, however many chapters, kind of like a read through, and I'll write my thoughts out of Moby Dick. The novel,
You've mentioned
Herman
that before,
Melville,
though.
Moby Dick. Yeah, it took a while to you know, come to fruition in my mind clearly and how I'm going to do it. So I guess then this whole author thing has me shaken up. The whole fish thing really left field in me.
So let's revisit our friend Henry Swallow.
Okay. Thank you for
your
the
main
direction.
character. Yeah, your main character. Henry and his father are going to be doing time traveling. You know, although subtle.
Well, it's not like they get in a spacecraft or like a phone booth and like go to a different time. Every story is kind of in a different time. So after a while,
the phone booth would be interesting until they got to a time when there was no phone booths anymore, and then they'd be stuck there.
Ooh.
But
how does Doctor Who handle that? Anyway,
he had his own personal phone booth.
Oh yeah.
He had the TARDIS, which was his own personal one. So.
Oh yeah, what is it, like bigger on the inside than the outside?
Yes.
Yeah, I dated a girl like that once.
A big heart, huh?
Sure.
So we again visiting.
Anyway, you were going to ask a question, Ron. I'm sorry.
Ask about your main character here, Henry Swallow. Is he going to continue to solve mysteries, or will he continue to be a thief, or is that just what he is? Both.
Well, it's Well, let's bring Sherlock Holmes into the equation again, or back into the equation.
All right.
He didn't always solve mysteries. He's down as the great detective, but most of his short stories are the adventures of fill in the blanks. It's not the mystery of, predominantly speaking. It's the adventure of blah, blah, blah. So I think more importantly than the mystery aspect, I'm never going to be the writer. I'm never going to present a story where the reader can read along and discover clues and try to solve the crime before the last page. I don't like that so much as like an adventure, like a general story, like a chain of events. So will he continue to solve mysteries? I would say so, and also cut himself in at the end and make it worth his while. Like in that first story, when he took a little bit of the gem as payment and sent the guy on his way with another little bit of the gem. So
I was going to mention that because that's sort of a spoiler there. So when you buy the book, ignore what Kap just said.
Oh, no, it's fine. It's fine. You'll have a heck of a... Well, there you go. You'll have a heck of a fun time reading up until that point because it's an adventure. It's not necessarily a mystery, but that's as close as I'll come to ruining anything else. But, what was the question?
Is he going to continue to do mysteries, or is he going to be a crook, or is he going to be everything?
He's going to be everything, like a amateur detective, a gentleman thief. He's never gonna he's never going to ruin anyone by. I'm very sensitive to certain things, and I don't like necessarily like an innocent person getting ruined because of some ne'er-do-well. And he's never going to be that form of ne'er-do-well. He's not going to be malicious necessarily. So yeah, it's going to continue along the way. He's going to find. I mean, he likes these little puzzles. I don't know if you want to call them mysteries. His dad likes them. Maybe his dad likes them more than he does. It's hard to tell. They're going to keep doing what they're doing. They've been doing it a long time. Why stop now? Then, whenever. So it's just stay tuned. It's going to be a hell of a ride by the time it's all wrapped up. You know, it's going to be a hell of a time.
Have you decided that you're going to stay within the time frame of, say, 1890s to 1990s, or are you going to?
No, I already said I'm going to do Robin Hood time. I'm going to go heavy into the Vine Vow periods, and you know, I'm going to. Okay. I don't. Okay, so here's a limit. I don't think they're going to go into the future. I don't foretell that happening. So any time back in time is game, but I don't want to get into the fantasy realm of science fiction-y, overtly science fiction-y stuff where they're like, you know, him and his dad are riding a spaceship or something like that. So
future could dictate that, yeah.
Yeah, I don't. That's a bit much. Ron, when I first met you and saw your profile pic, I was like, wow, he looks like a science fiction writer. Because you do. You look like a science fiction writer. But I'm not, and I don't look like one, and I have no plans on being one. So as far as time frame, like I said, anything from way back when to today-ish. You know what? The 90s. From way back when. From Robin Hood, yeah, we'll say Robin Hood, but don't quote me on that. And probably around the 90s. But any time in
1890s, 1990s, yeah.
1990s. 1990s. That would be fun. That would be fun to do a 1990s one. That would be
the Old West? Is he going to appear?
He's going to be in the Old West. He's going to be in the Old West. Yeah.
That'll be fun.
Southwest.
Yeah.
Southwest is what I have now.
Yeah.
But yeah, the old.
I'm looking forward to that.
The Wild West. Yeah, you look like you would. You know what you look like you would like a Wild West. It looks like you would write, Ron, a Wild West like the year like 3048. You know, like that looks like your particular science fiction realm.
Wow.
3048.
Yeah.
Well, something like something like Farscape or Firefly or those type of dinners.
Everybody that knows me says, Cap, you got to watch Firefly. You'll love it. I have never watched a minute of that show.
I don't know if you love it or not, though. Knowing you, I don't know if you would love it or not. I think you're more current as opposed to futuristic. I think if you applied Firefly to just the Old West, I think you would love it and just go from there, because that's all it is. It's a Western set in the future.
Star Wars.
No, a Western set in the future.
Oh, hold on, Ron.
Mm-hmm.
Hold on, Ron. Star Wars. The original three. Those were Westerns.
Mm-hmm.
Those were
Westerns.
Yeah.
Han Solo? Come on. Western.
Yeah. Those are Westerns.
So,
that's true.
So Firefly is like that?
Firefly
is what you're saying?
Firefly is renegades on the run, trying to get away from the authorities, trying to make a living. It's in the characters, very, very good character development. Then you have this one girl who has abilities. Yeah, I think you would if you
There's
kept
this one
the mindset
girl with
that
abilities.
it is.
That's very interesting.
Yeah,
She has abilities.
She was trained. She was taken as a child. She was trained to.
Don't know if this is turning out to be good description. Okay.
Yeah, I'm questioning.
You've never seen it, Mike?
No, I haven't.
She was trained.
Yeah. It's
Like
available.
in stenography? Was she
No,
trained
she was
to
trained,
partake
like,
in
in
a
fighting.
secretarial pool?
Oh.
Oh,
Like in
okay,
fighting.
okay.
And defending. I mean, it's just it's an interesting show. I think you both would like it.
Could she be? You see, everybody tells me you got to watch Firefly. Could this woman take on a beta, a Siamese fighting fish?
As long as they're not in real dirty water, yeah.
Yeah, I would say so. You're probably right, because she's got to be bigger than a beta. It's funny because, like, if one beta sees another beta and they go at it, it's like the toughest fight of their lives, and they're known for these crazy, vicious fish. But it's all really kind of, it's subjective and contextual, because you could tell me that beta, he's a mean fish, and I would just, I could handle him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm not going to be afraid of him.
Mash him with, your two hands, yeah. But
No,
that's
I'm an
safe.
animal
Put 'em in a
lover,
bigger
Ron. I would
tank and they
never.
keep
I
going.
don't,
Never.
Ron. Don't say stuff like that. I like to
that's
think we're all animal lovers here.
That's
I
for
would never.
any
I
betas
would just
that
say
are listening, just to let them know that, we won't
who the
put up
boss
with it.
is.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
There
but
will
if
be
you put
no
a big
beta takeover. Yeah.
Exactly. If you put them in a big tank, so they're going to start getting bigger and bigger, and then that might be something to be fearful of.
Well, and that's the only time Aquaman would ever come in handy. In
Very
that
true.
one scenario. Other than that, seems like a pretty lame superhero. Honestly.
Don't let Aquaman hear you say that.
So,
I mean, what's he to do? I don't like the water. I'm never going to go in the ocean.
Okay,
And-
then you can
And
pretty much safe.
I'm safe. Yeah, I'm good. So we've covered a lot of ground here, guys. This is not what I expected, but it's fun nonetheless. Mike, I apologize.
for what? No, I'm taking my notes. I'm doing historical things. I did want to ask you about. You talked about a read through of Moby Dick before a few minutes, whenever it was. Is this something that you're releasing, or are you just doing? What? It says you're about to begin a segment by segment read through of Moby Dick. What do you mean?
Right, that'll be at kaplowitz.xyz.
Okay.
www.kaplowitz.xyz. Kaplowitz Media. That'll be on the blog, free for everybody to see.
Okay.
The other thing I'm doing there, the Cheryl story that I'm releasing in segments.
It's already on.
That eventually will be. I'm up to part 2. There's going to be 5 parts. Once all 5 are published at the blog, I'm going to probably lightly edit it and then run off a few copies of that to see if anybody wants to give me $10 for that too. Because $10 is $10. You know what I mean?
All five chapters in one book.
All 5 chapters in one book, a little edited. Like a little punched up, as they say in the trade. Punch it up a little bit.
Wow.
So look for that maybe, I don't know, sometime later. But, I write plenty, Ron. I really, the more I think about that, I'm a little upset. You don't think I write enough
I don't see.
to consider...
I see your blogs, and I don't read those, and I don't think too much about that. I mean, as a writer, I think I see the books that you publish now, and I think that's I don't know.
Yeah, no. And you already had me on to talk about my first little Kaplowitz Media book with How to Enjoy a Cigar. You read that too?
Right.
You're one of my bigger readers, Ron.
Yeah, there's a few of us out there. We got the other guys in the group. They're all are. So you've got five readers of your book out there. So.
Except I tried to give one to Craig and he wouldn't take it. Craig, if you're listening.
Yeah,
I offered Craig a free
Craig.
book and he no thanked me. Yeah, Cigar Craig. Yeah, cigarcraig.com. He no thanked me. He's like, free book, that's too much.
Well, tell him send me $10 and I'll send you one. Then he might do that.
There's something to be said for that. You joke, but there's something to be said for affixing a monetary value to things, and that makes people give it a greater amount of value, all told. If there's some, if there's something there. So, yeah. I don't know. Sorry, Cigar Craig, but that was rough.
Oh well. So okay, well. Kaplowitz Media is where you can get the Tales of Henry Swallow, issue number 1. 2 short stories, introduction of our hero, main character, Henry Swallow. You never, I don't believe you ever said an age of Henry. Is he just sort of like not really a certain age? I got the feeling that he would be in his mid-40s, but
that could be right.
Is that up to the reader?
I don't do a lot. I leave a lot open to interpretation because I'm lazy, and it's a lot. But no, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. He's about there.
Okay.
He's about there.
Yeah. And then Dad would be in his upper 70s.
Yeah, Dad would be older. Yes.
Yeah, upper 70s.
Yeah.
Can't make him too much older, because then he would be 40 or 50 when he had Henry, and that's really old back then. You had kids when you were young.
Well, back then, but maybe I don't know. It's hard to say. It's hard to say where they originated along the timeline.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's
very true.
Yeah, but so if I can, if you want to email me, it's kaplowitzmedia@yahoo.com. If you want to just check out my writing, it's www.kaplowitz.xyz. So, and you can find everything on there. Yeah. So.
Any last comments, Mike?
No, I was Robin Hood from the 13th, 14th century, 13th, 14th century. His real name was Robin Fitzooth, or the Lord of Locksley Hall, is what I found out so far on my historical journey here as I was looking up stuff. My concern is. Yes, Lord of Locksley Hall. My concern, not a concern, but something to think about. If you're putting Tell Me About Miss Cheryl, you have part 1 on there, and part 2, I believe, is linked down at the bottom here because I'm looking at the page. And you finish this series on your website. Do you think that's going to curb the sales if you put the whole version of it on your website, just like we're reading it now? Does that affect? Does that have any effect on possibly going to print? And it's already on your website. How are you going to curb that? People, is it going to add a little extras to it? Is there going to be maybe a part 6 where there's only the first 5 or something on your website? How are you going to do that? Just let it go and hope somebody goes for it. Where's the
son of a bitch?
Let me get the. Where's the. Where's the TikTok? Oh, there it is.
God damn it!
As we wait for the answer.
Oh man!
And that concludes this episode of All About Wine.
Oh man!
Man, I just came up with.
Oh, they would have read it already. Oh.
Just a.
Well,
I try so. Oh.
And go get a fish. It'll make you feel better.
Yes.
That
put it
delicious.
And put it in the toilet. No, actually, I heard you're not supposed to put fish in the toilet. even when they're dead or, whatever. A lot of people, I'm just going to throw this into, apparently it does something to the, how would something that small affect it? But I guess it does something to the plumbing. I don't know. But they say do not toss a fish. Yeah, they say I'll find that article by our next show, but it says do not flush any size fish down your toilet because it does something. I got to check it out, but heard that a long time ago. So I was like, I always thought, a little goldfish, what's it going to hurt? Toss it. It's done. It's not going to,
that's the standard.
But yeah,
burial.
But there was,
tune,
so while he's pondering,
I'm releasing the entire story for free.
Then you're going to publish and try to sell the same
Now
thing.
I'm going to publish and sell the thing. Who am I? Who's going to? Oh, God. Oh,
Kap, thanks for taking your time on such short notice and joining us tonight.
Yes, I appreciate that.
Thanks for having me on. It's been great.
Yeah.
Wow.
And when you come out with your next couple of issues of the Tales of Henry Swallow, then we will get you back on and discuss something again. And thanks everyone for tuning in to All About Wine while we discussed everything about wine.
It was a lot of fun.
Yeah,
it
was fun.
I didn't see that. I'll have to figure that out. Cause
Mike, you did it again. Okay.
Why would anybody buy something that they
just read?
Already read for?
Just maybe part one on your website, and then the rest are all in one. I think that would be more, because you get them hooked on the website and you go, I'm at the bottom of part one or part two now, and they go, I want to. What else happens? Draw some kind of anyway.
And then
it's I don't want to. Yeah, get the book. That's just a preview of something. It's just a thought.
That's right.
Are we live? We're still on, aren't we?
It's like,
yeah.
I can't think of the author. We had an author that wrote a book, and
they would have read it all, and then I'm going to print it off and be like, "Hey, pay me to read it again." That's
give me $10 so you can read it again. I go, hey, I've already read it.
Problematic.
Yeah, there you go.
I feel silly now.
No. You so that's where typing.
But like one of the authors we had on, his book, at the end of the book, he had another chapter which teased about the next book he was writing. So that's what you need to do. Just tease about what's coming up.
Stupid.
Oh God.
All right, Kap. Thanks for joining us tonight, and we'll be talking to you actually in a round panel next Wednesday.
God. Oh boy.
Totally deflated.
Oh look, there's part two. Wow.
I'll just wait for the rest of the parts.
Yeah, there's read part one there. So you got part one and part two up there. Okay. Anyway.
Maybe if we'll wait, he can put the Tales of Henry Swallow on his blog. We won't have to buy that either. So
it's a
all right, Kap.
Yeah.
Good night. We'll be talking to you
definitely
later.
Talk soon.
Thanks for being on the show.
Thank you very much. Very
bitch. Damn it.
He is scarred. He's scarred.
Yeah. You scarred him.
So sorry. I should have never brought up that idea. That was just it just had me thinking about what. Where's he at? He's on the West Coast, right?
There you go, Kap.
It's like,
you're
what time is it there? 4 o'clock in the afternoon? 8, 7, 6, 5, 5,
5,
11. Okay. Yeah, we got to go. Sorry about that. We'll talk soon.
We'll
smoke
talk soon, Kap.
Smoke a cigar, enjoy it, and We'll talk soon.
Cigar, relax. Forget about what Mike said.
Everything is good. Everything is good.
Everything is good. Maybe, Mike, you should have said that in the voice.
Oh, yeah.
And then he would have,
Come. What?
There's there's that part. There's part 2. Man. Is he still? He's still here.
Oh, okay.
All right.
We're
going to let you go.
We'll talk
so
to you
can
soon.
suffer in silence.
Yes. Smoke a cigar.
We'll talk to
Enjoy
you
it.
soon.
Wow.
Smoke a cigar.
Is that percussion? Is he a percussionist?
Bye, Cap.
Well, see ya. Thanks for being on. Oh my gosh. Man, that was sad. It was I should have never said that. There was
Yeah. You didn't realize the implications of that. Well, I think I'll publish it after you've already written it and everybody's read it.
Yeah.
Well.
But yeah, we'll see. Okay. So he is off air. We will close the show for this week. It is April 13th, in case you're listening to us on archive for some reason. We thank you for doing that. But we are live every Thursday, 99% of the time. And our next live show will be on the 20th of April at 7 p.m. Eastern U.S. time. So be sure to check us then.
When is Earth Day? The 23rd?
Earth Day? Oh gosh, I think
Earth Day's
so.
Coming up here.
Yeah, I think it's April 22nd, Saturday.
22nd. Okay.
Yeah. So,
all right. Well, it's a week before my birthday, 22nd.
Oh, well.
So we'll talk about Earth Day. So.
Yeah. We'll
all right.
talk to everybody next week. Thanks again,
Next week.
and have a good week. Be safe and enjoy your wine, cigars, whatever you got. Just to enjoy it and
reading.
Reading. Yes.
And,
don't forget. Yeah. Absolutely.
And any comments on the difference between an author, a novelist, a writer?
Mm-hmm.
Send them to us.
Yeah, we'd love to hear from you.
I never thought too much about the difference myself, but
I haven't either.
It's interesting.
Yeah. Alrighty. Have a good one. We'll talk to you next one. Thank you. See you.
So, thank you. Y'all have a good one. Be safe, and we'll see you next week.
Yeah. Thank you. Oh, there it is.
This concludes tonight's broadcast of All About Wine with your host, Ron. For show information, links to All About Wine on Twitter and Facebook, or to be a guest on this show, visit the show website at www.allaboutwinebtr.com. Archived shows are available for download on iTunes or on our show page at blogtalkradio.com/allaboutwine. Thank you for listening. Drink responsibly, and we'll see you next time on All About Wine.
There we go. We're off. We are off.
Facebook's caught up with us?
No, I'm still waiting for the intro to play.
Even start.
Yeah. Go to the green room, I guess. And it looks like it locked up. I don't know why it locked up there. Huh. Okay. Yeah, try that. Okay.
You going to the green? There
Yeah. The video on my screen locked up. I don't know why. It looks like it might be stuck at one of the. We still heard the audio, but the video wasn't in there for some reason. So see what happens when it plays finally. It says it's should be running pretty soon. It says 8:15. Isn't that what it is now?
Yeah, we were over at 8:15.
Yeah, so it should be coming up pretty soon here. There it goes. And now it starts.
Oh, well, that wasn't too bad. That's pretty close.
Yeah, not too bad at all. Okay, well, I hope he's not traumatized, and we'll come back on again soon. Yeah, there it goes. It locks up. Be back. Yeah, I don't know if this is still playing or what here.
Shows are available.
Yeah, still playing. The video froze. I don't know why the video froze and the audio is still playing. That's messed up. I gotta
wait a minute now.
See you next time.
Before we leave.